Good evening, YouTubers. It's another edition of Prep Talk Sports. I'm the Professor Joe Kraus. Between tonight's action between the North Tonawanda Lumberjacks and the Grand Island Vikings. After dropping back-to-back games at Sweet Home and Will South, North Tonawanda got back to their winning ways with their 49-25 home finale win over Ken East. Chris Warrior did his thing once again, finishing with 20 carries for 217 yards and 3 touchdowns. Joe Dyrwich recorded his first 100-yard rushing game as well on 17 carries, along with 2 rushing touchdowns. And Cody Sikora had a career-high 20 carries for 161 yards and a touchdown. Also keep in mind, in every single NT win, Taylor Malott has had 10 tackles. So with all that in mind, let's go to tonight's game between North Tonawanda and Grand Island. North Tonawanda looking for their first berth in sectionals for the first time in 3 years, back in Rick Tom's lone season on the NT sidelines. Most notably a 15-13 overtime home win against Amherst. Now to the present. North Tonawanda taking on Grand Island, and Taylor Malott stops them right at the door, sacking Viking quarterback Giuseppe Campanella, his first sack of the season. Malott has been the nucleus of the NT defense this season. Robbie Stolfko will put the Vikings on the board first, however, with his 37-yard field goal, making the score 3-0 with 8:12 remaining in the first quarter. But Chris Ward would have other plans. The senior quarterback rumbling and bumbling and stumbling past the 50 to the 40, and then brought down inside the 30. That huge run would set up this play. Warrior was a part of that 2011 team. Ryan McDonough in motion, and Warrior keeps it on the QB keeper, and he's able to keep the legs moving inside for the 31-yard touchdown run. Sophomore Joe Dyer would convert the PAT to put the Jacks up 7-3. And probably the craziest play you will ever see in your life. Warrior pitches it to McDonough, and then the ball is in the air, and it's caught by Hayden Holmes, and he takes it all the way. A 50-yard fumble recovery touchdown. Joe Dyrwich will make the PAT to put him up 14-3. Take a look at the replay. Warrior is able to pitch it to McDonough successfully, but it gets hit around the NT 45. The ball is in the air, as you can see by the circle, and Hayden Holmes is able to get it. He was at the right place at the right time, and off into the green he goes. So with that score, it's 14-3 early in the second quarter. Then Giuseppe Campanella drops back the pass, but the Richard Sherman of the NT secondary, Drew Krantz, would get the interception, and that would lead to a Chris Ward 1-yard touchdown run. The Lumberjacks are now up 21-3 at this point, with 6:29 remaining in the first half. But the Vikings will have other plans, starting with Tyler Benderson's kickoff return. A very nicely done return by Mr. Benderson. Gets to around the Vikings 44. Then Giuseppe Campanella finds Anthony Mosier on the outside. Looks like he's about to get hit by Austin Gibson, but he's able to get around and get a few more before being brought down by Krantz. Then Campanella, the gunslinger. You can see we have Armin Swanson and Drew Krantz highlighted. Krantz tries to go side by side with Swanson, but he's just so fast that Swanson is able to beat him for the 42-yard touchdown reception. And that will cut the lead to 21-10 after Stolfko's PAT. 5:23 left in the first half. After an NT fumble recovery at their own 12, Campanella finds Anthony Mosier again in the back of the end zone for a 12-yard touchdown. And then Campanella would hook up with A.J. Swanson for the 2-point conversion. And that would make it 21-18 your score at the half. Scoreless third quarter, we move to the fourth quarter now, as Campanella drops back to pass, and welcome to the big show, Mr. Bryce Schmiegel, his first varsity sack. You can see that Schmiegel and Alex Mount put the pressure on the right side. Schmiegel is right there in that yellow circle, and as you can see, Campanella, his offensive line collapses right around him as he tries to make this pass, and Schmiegel is right there to give him a knuckle sandwich, his first sack of his varsity career. Then Woodard again on the QB keeper, takes it up the middle and into the open green, this time from 49 yards out. Dyrwich will make another PAT. It would be 29-18. But like we said before, Steve Pangolo's defense shows up at the right moment. Campanella drops back the pass, and it's Chris Woodard making the diving interception. So that's one. Then another interception. You guessed it, Chris Ward again. This time a 30-yard pick six. His 2 interceptions, also had 6 tackles. He would look for Adam McNeil in the back of the end zone, but it looks like he dropped it. And then Campanella would find a third time's the charm. Danny Lucazonis with his first interception of his varsity career. And then the last score for North Tonawanda, and this one Warded on a 12-yard touchdown run. North Tonawanda goes on to win this one 41-18, their first postseason appearance in 3 years. So after the win, North Tonawanda improves to 4-2 on the season. Chris Ward would finish with 14 carries for 178 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns, in addition to his 6 tackles and 2 interceptions, 1 for the pick six like you watched earlier. Also, he went 3-9 passing for 46 yards, finding junior Cody Sikora for a 37-yard catch. He would also have a pick earlier in the game as well. Joe Darwich was held to just 10 carries for 46 yards. Cody Sikora was held to just 7 carries for 19 yards. On the defensive side, Zach Wardard had 8 tackles, the fumble recovery, and the block. Drew Krantz had a pick and 3 tackles. Dan Lucazonis finished with 8 tackles and the pick like you watched earlier. Taylor Malott had a season-high 14 tackles and the sack, which was the first play you saw earlier in this broadcast. Bryce Schmiegel had the sack as well, and Bailey Fernuziak had a fumble recovery for North Tonawanda. The team finished with 289 total offensive yards, and the team will play against their rivals from across the Erie Canal, the Tonawanda Warriors. In our next video, we'll have the highlights for that, so we hope to have that up for you very, very soon. And that's what it was here on this another edition of Prep Talk Sports. I'm the Professor Joe Kraus. Have a good night, and thanks for watching.